Hello, my name is the legendary Zoltan, and I'm here today to talk about how to pronounce the names of most of the characters in Chrono Trigger. Most of these names are not words or names that are found in the English language. Some of them might be from foreign languages that I don't know about, and if you know of any, then let me know in the comments. But for this video, I'm just going to use my knowledge of Japanese to show you how Squaresoft had intended the names to be pronounced. Let's start off with an easy one. Chrono's best friend's name is spelled Lucca. And I know that having the two C's in there sort of implies that it could be pronounced Lucca, but if you check the Japanese version, her name is spelled with a Lu, a small tsu, which is silent, and a ka. So the intended pronunciation is Lucca. And I think the only reason the localizer put two C's in her name is because of that silent small tsu that I mentioned. The purpose of a small tsu is to cut the previous letter short and jump quickly to the beginning of the next letter. In this case, the lu gets cut a bit short and we jump quickly to the ka. So the actual Japanese pronunciation is Lucca. Lucca. Now, I don't think anyone in the English-speaking world is going to bother to say it like that. So, Lucca it is. Okay, that was more complicated than I had intended it to be. Let's do one that's a really big deal. Chrono. Is it Chrono or is it Chrono? Now, there are a million different factors that one could take into consideration, like the origin of the word, how its usage has changed over the course of time, and all this other stuff that I've never even thought about. But I'm just going to throw all of that away and look at the Japanese because I have the fear that I would be wrong. And I like the intended Japanese pronunciation a whole lot more than the alternative. So, here it is in Japanese. Kuro no. His name is Chrono. Clear as crystal. I've asked my partner Mel to do a video on the history of the word chrono, and I just hope to death that it isn't supposed to be pronounced chrono. And I'm sorry I keep referring to it as a word. In English, chrono is only part of a word. But I look forward to hearing what Mel has to say about it. Let's move on to two characters whose names are so obviously Japanese in origin. Masa and Mune. Pfft, you must be out of your goddamn mind. They are pronounced Masa and Mune. The only way to be certain of this pronunciation is to know that the most famous swordsmith in the history of Japan was a dude named Masamune. He lived a long time ago and his sword-making ability was legendary. I say it's the only way to know because, funnily enough, they weren't called Masa and Mune in the Japanese version. They were called Gran and Leon. And the sword they made was called the Gran de Leon, which I guess is Spanish for Great Lion? I'm not sure. This is the one time I must insist. If you want to call it Chrono Trigger, fine. But Masa and Mune, however, that's loco, brah. Next name, Ayla. I always thought it was Ayla, but it's Ayla. In Japanese, I, and La. Simple. I think there are a lot of people out there, like me, who called her Ayla. But this next name is the name that everybody questions. Marle. There is the rare group of people out there that say Marle. That's how I pronounced it. But most of the world is split between Marle and Marle. So which one is it? I don't know if there are any countries out there that have a name like this, but I can tell you what the developers intended. Here we have a ma, and then just a line, a dash. That dash stretches out or prolongs the sound of the previous vowel. In this case, we have a ma, so it acts as an extension of the a sound. So ma, a, ru. That is the closest Japanese equivalent to Marle. If they had wanted to make it Marley, they would have spelled her name Ma with a dash and Li with another dash. Ma-a-li-e. Mari. So her name is definitely Marle. Now, this last one is a little funky, and I can completely understand if you don't want to change your pronunciation of this name. I'm not sure if I want to either. Her name is spelled Leene. I'm sure we've always called her Queen Leene. But check out the original Japanese. Ri with a dash and a ne. Leene. Leene. What the heck? And the translator saw that her name was Leene and decided to spell it Leene. I think that E at the end means that they actually wanted us to pronounce it Leene. So I guess I'll go ahead and call her Queen Leene. You can continue to call her Queen Leene if you want, and I will completely understand. I guess that just leaves Magus. At least I think it's pronounced Magus. I used to call him Magus, but I switched after looking up the word in some online dictionary. My man Mel has informed me that this is one hell of a complicated word to choose a single correct pronunciation for. So look forward to his video on Chrono and Magus. Lucca, Marle, Ayla, Masa, and Mune, however, are carved in stone. If you ever hear someone pronounce any of those names incorrectly, link them to this video. Thank you very much for watching. This Japanese lesson has been brought to you by the legendary Zoltan.